Now for some additional starred comments concerning the number e. And remember that starred comments are something which I give every so often from time to time, and they're to put what we're doing in a broader context. It doesn't matter if you don't understand, just try and get the rough idea. So I'm going to give you a number of different situations in which the number e arises naturally. So the first is the situation of compound interest. So imagine that you have $1 and you invested at 100% interest per annum, very good rate of return. Then at the end of the year you will have $2. Now if the amount is compounded 6 monthly, then at the end of 6 months you'll have $1.50, and at the end of 12 months you'll have 1.5 again of that, 1.5 squared in other words, which comes out to be $2.25. If the interest were compounded 3 times a year, that's every 4 months, then after 4 months you'd have $1.33, after 8 months you'd have $1.33 squared, and by the end of the year you'd have $1.33 cubed, which would be $2.37. And if we compounded daily, that means after 1 day you'd have 1 plus 1/365th of a dollar. After 2 days, 1 plus 1/365 squared. After 3 days, 1 plus 1/365 cubed dollars, and so on. And if you calculate that out at the end of the year, after 12 months, we're mentioning a year which is not a leap year, you'd have $2.71.48 So what happens when you go to the limit? What happens if you compound every second? Or if you compound every 1,000th of a second? Well, then what will happen is that the amount that you earn doesn't approach infinity, it approaches the number e. In other words, 1 plus 1 over n raised to the nth power, as n gets larger and larger, gets closer and closer to the number e, 2.71828, and so on, as n approaches infinity. Another way in which the number e arises is through a particular infinite series. The number e can be expressed as 1 plus 1 plus 1 over 2 factorial, plus 1 over 3 factorial up to 1 over n factorial, and so on, infinite series. That converges to the number e. And more generally, e raised to the power x turns out to be this, 1 plus x squared on 2 factorial, plus ... plus x to the n on n factorial, and so on. Another way in which the number e arises is when we do a very simple integration. Number e is that unique number such that the integral from 1 up to e of dt on t is equal to 1. And more generally, we have that the integral from 1 up to x of dt on t is the natural logarithm of x. And finally, in complex numbers, we have the following rather amazing identity, that e raised to the power I pi is equal to -1, where I is the complex number whose square is -1. Pi, you know what the number pi is, and we have to make sense, which we haven't done, of e to the I pi. When you do all that, the natural way, it turns out that not only is e to the I pi equal to -1, but e to the I theta for any number theta. The only reason we use theta is because we sometimes think of this as an angle, but it's true for any real number theta. E to the I theta is cos of theta plus I sine theta. So that's the end of the start comment.